In This Week in Military History, we explore the beginning of the Bataan Death March by thousands of U.S. prisoners of war after the Battle of Bataan in World War II. The strategic importance of the Philippines was that forces based there could control the sea routes between Japan and their newly conquered territories in Southeast Asia. Therefore, soon after their attack on U.S. military forces at Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, Japanese forces attacked the Philippines. The attack overwhelmed the greatly outnumbered U.S. and Philippine forces which had withdrawn to the Bataan Peninsula and the island of Corregidor. The siege of Bataan began on January 1, 1942, and was the first major land battle for the United States in World War II. The force on Bataan numbered approximately 76,000 Filipino and American troops, many of whom were sick and starving due to the lack of supplies during the long siege. After 99 days, the American-led forces were on half rations due to poor planning and dwindling supplies. American General Edward King, commander of the Allied ground troops on Bataan, surrendered his outnumbered forces on April 9, 1942. After their victory, the Japanese military, who had underestimated the number of prisoners, forced the surviving U.S. and Filipino troops to march 60 miles over 6 days with no food or water to their place of internment. Those who fell or stopped were killed. Thousands of U.S. and Allied soldiers died during the forced march. Of the 22,000 soldiers captured by the Japanese, only about 15,000 would return to the United States. The Japanese used similar tactics on other prisoners of war during World War II. The survivors named it the Bataan Death March. News of the Americans' treatments by their Japanese captors was initially kept secret. However, details of the atrocity were released in January 1944 by the Roosevelt administration to reinvigorate the will to fight amongst the people of the United States. Join us next time for another segment of This Week in Military History with the Pritzker Military Museum and Library.